discussion points. And what is that? That is the Bubby's interviews. Here we are with Bubby's interviews. Of course, we are joined today by the legendary Eric Roberts and his lovely wife, Eliza. Eric has worked in Hollywood for over 40 years. He's received an Oscar nomination, 3 Golden Globe nominations. But maybe more importantly, he was in a film with Bunny last year. It was called Fake News. Am I right, Bunny?
Yeah.
Well, Bunny, did you not appear in a film with none other than Eric Roberts, the man, the myth?
Wow. It was a thrill and an honor. Eric was so gracious.
Great. Look at that.
She had on a beautiful belt that day, and I said, my God, what a beautiful belt. And she took it off and gave it to me. And
That's so funny.
I wanted to be like Elvis. When they saw something, Elvis, you would like my car? Take my car. At least you didn't ask for my car, Eric.
I have to say, Bubbies, I think Eric and Eliza's greatest accomplishments aren't so much their nominations and awards, it's their 27-year marriage. And that's what we want to talk about today. So, Bubbies, I'm going to be quiet. This is your show. Have at it.
Well, it's a pleasure to meet the both of you. My God, you two are so gorgeous. You still have your hair, Eric. It's gorgeous, right? I love it.
I never appreciated my hair until I turned 50, and I looked around, and all my friends, except Christopher Walken, they're all bald, all but Chris and Eric.
I love your hair. And your hair too, Eliza. I have curly hair, as you can see. So
yes. Yeah, well, my hair is pretty frizzy right now because, we're in the middle of this not going to the salon thing.
That's true. Well, I just want to know, being married myself, my third husband, I know, right? Third three is the charm, they say.
Yeah.
How have you...
You're good at it now, huh?
I finally got it right, 17 years. So you're married 27. So tell me, how do you keep that love going?
From my end of things, it's 2 things. It is incredible, brutal, consistent honesty, and incredible, romantic, consistent sex.
Ooh la la. Oh, I love that. That's wonderful.
And Eliza, you're an actress also, so I think that helps in understanding Eric, right?
Yes, definitely. I'm always surprised by people who don't understand actors because I think I understand that creature better than any other creature.
But my wife's not just an actress; she's a really good actor.
Right.
And when you're a really good actor, you're a whole other breed from an actor.
Right. Right.
Good actor. In fact,
and coming from Eric Roberts, who has done 397 films, that is quite a compliment. And I would like to give you an Oscar because that is what you deserve, Eric. I would like to know,
Bunny.
I think you have the secret for a great sex life, and we want to know. The Bubbies want to know.
Yes, mature sex life.
Come on, Eric and Eliza, we're waiting.
Well, for one thing, we believe in sex during the Bubby phase of our lives. So we just never even thought about any change. We just went along. So that's one thing. But go ahead. What do you want to say? I have a bunch of stuff to say. What do you want to say? Go ahead.
No, sex is good. Sex is good, and sex is a necessity in a relationship.
I think, one thing is speaking honestly about, we have an analogy. If you have a favorite book and you love it so much you can't put it down the first reading, and you tell everybody about it and it transforms you. If someone said to you, that's now going to be the only book you can ever read for the rest of your life, the next time might be fun and you'll find things that you didn't see before. And after that, you might panic, right? And be like, oh my God, I need other books. And so what do you do about that kind of situation? So one thing is to have a very frank conversation about that possibility, because some of the stuff that happens in the early days of a marriage, it's intoxication, really. I mean, it can even distort things to the point where you get deeply involved with somebody who's a disaster for you.
Right.
So that is to have a egoless, non-threatening conversation about that as often as possible with humor.
With humor is so important.
And then also, I think having sort of romantic images, not sexual fantasy images, romantic images in your mind. Like, we all love romantic comedies. We love how they're adversaries through the whole movie and they finally get together. Sleepless in Seattle, You've Got Mail, all that. And when you see that, you want to be able to run into the other room to whoever your mate is and be like, I have this for myself. It's not just in the movie. But a lot of times you don't, that kind of part of you is shut down. You're not feeling it that way. But if you really consciously decide to appreciate what you have, and for me, it's not that hard because Eric is Eric, but he's also Eric Roberts. So he's also the guy from Final Analysis and this film or that film where he's so adorable. And so I just kind of take my mind and move it to where it needs to be to make that connection, right? And I think we all can do that.
I had no idea it was other people in bed.
No, it's not.
You're blushing.
You as other people, but it's also me just putting myself in that place of where I feel like we've gone through so much, and here is the final scene in the romantic comedy where we're, and it's not sex; it's more kissing and hugging. It's the
right. I agree with that totally.
Good kisser. Look at those lips. She's a good kisser.
Oh, that's important.
Eric is also very, very romantic. Sometimes you have to beware of a romantic man because that can also be a kind of controlling person.
Right.
Romance is a manipulation. We've all been through that, right? Yeah. So whereas often the guy who's kind of like, whatever, that's the good, solid guy that's good on paper and, that you should stay with. But Eric he's just romantic because he's an artist and it's genuine and there isn't a flip side to it. So I'm
gonna ask a question that maybe the bubbies don't want to ask because I'm a guy and what the hey. Eric, it can get tough in our upper years. I mean, we're not always what we used to be in our 50s and 60s like we were in our 20s and 30s. So what about that?
Well, it's funny you bring that up because a friend of mine is an inventor and he came up with an invention and he even named it. It's called the rocket. And the only
rocket, baby.
Aha!
There it is. And the only reason I'm talking about it is because, listen to this. We have in our blood plaque, right? It gets away to the heart. Everybody has heart issues with their plaque. Well, it also, the same thing goes for the appendage. It gets in the way. It stops blood flow. And you find when you clean out the plaque, as with the heart, you have better blood flow and stuff works better. And when he came to me, and quite frankly, I've known this guy for 20 years.
What's his name?
His name is John Hoffman. And I was a little, Hoffman, who knows? Maybe he's a cousin.
Yeah.
Anyway, I was quite frankly a little embarrassed. I'm like, dude, I'm not going to talk about a contraption that's going to solve ED. He goes, but you will, because it works. It's honest, and it's a real deal about the plaque thing.
And no drugs, so
no drugs, not in vain.
But how does it work?
Well, let's see that picture again.
Well, that's okay.
Okay. Well, it's shaped like a pencil, and you take the end of it, and you run it up and down your situation, and you turn it on, of course, and then sound waves.
Oh, I see.
Wow. Breaks up the plaque in your situation. So there it is. Right there goes.
Listen, it could be shaped any way. The point is, it's kind of like, really, seriously, it's like a foot massager. It's like, it's any kind of contraption.
I wouldn't say it's like a foot massager. It does go.
Well,
Eric and Eliza, I want to thank you so much for joining us, and more importantly, for your candor, because that's what we're all about here on Bubbies Know Best. And as we do every week on Bubbies Know Best, I want to salute your bubbies, your grandmothers, because we're only here because of them. This is Eric's grandmother.
Oh, Gorgeous.
And this is Eliza with her grandmother.
Yes,
So we salute you, we adore you, we love you. Congratulations on 27 years of marriage and many more.
Congratulations.
Yes.